Let me first and foremost welcome everyone once again to the first in a series of our monthly meeting here at the AMP. This is the first physical meeting we have for the year, and I'll be sharing with us briefly on the subject we have captioned Maximizing Your Potential. This subject is a very critical subject because it is what reminds you and I that we are meant for the top. We are meant to be the best in whatever God has called us into. There's a greatness inside of us, but you and I have a duty to unleash that greatness onto the world. And that's why this subject is very, very critical. And I am trusting God today that God will, open our hearts, open our mind to be able to connect with what God is saying. By way of introduction, you and I must remember that God created you and I, and that means that we must, look at what does God say first and foremost to understand who we are in Christ. What does He want us to achieve here on earth? What is the potential that's put inside of us? Now, by way of introduction, if you look at Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, when God created man, He said something very profound. He said, after God had created man, He blessed them. And He said these powerful words to them. He said, God said unto them, be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion. Now, that is the first word man had. And that tells you what God's plan for you and I are. God has inside of us the capacity to be fruitful, to multiply, and then to subdue, and to have dominion. Now, those are words that are alluded. Remember, God, the same God said, light be, or let there be light, and light came forth. That means anything God said, God saw. So when God spoke to man, these powerful words, what it means that God is able to make it happen. In fact, the Bible says God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above what you ask or think. So inside of you is a potential, something greater than what you can imagine. But you need to know what to do to unleash that potential and become the best that God has ordained you to be. As a matter of fact, in Matthew chapter 5, verse 13 and 14 to 16, Jesus said, you are the salt of the earth. You are the light of the world. That means there's something inside of you that the world is looking for. See, the world is growing in pain, waiting for the manifestations of the sons of God. But when Jesus came, John chapter 10, verse 10, he says, I have come that you will have life abundantly. And that version says, you have life at its fullest. So there's something great and full about you that you have not achieved yet. Paul said, I'm pressing. There's a mark ahead of me. I'm pressing towards the high calling. So there's something bigger than where you are today. Something greater inside of you that needs to come out. But I dare you today that, you must know what step to take. And what I'll be sharing with you briefly for the time that we have is what must I do to maximize God's potential inside of me. Number one thing that you and I must first do is recognize that you must identify your strengths and your weaknesses. Identify your strengths and your weaknesses. What does that mean, for example? That means you must know who you are, what comes easily to you, for example, as a person. You must be self-aware of your strengths and your weaknesses. You have to take strength, you have to, audit yourself. You have to be aware of what comes easily to you. What are the things that you are strong at? What are the things that you're not strong at? And what it means is that you must identify what capacity you need to build to be able to become somebody, who's able to fulfill destiny in the grand style. So the one thing you must do is identify your strengths and your weaknesses. What are the things that come easily to me? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What do I need to improve, for example? What do I need to enhance? That's the first thing, self-awareness. In fact, a wise man said, man, know thyself. Because until you conquer self, you can conquer your world. Number two things you must do, you must set goals. You cannot achieve a goal you have not set. So you must give yourself a sense of direction. Who am I and what do I want to become, for example? So you must set goals for direction. That is what will motivate you every day you wake up. And talking about goals, there's something we call SMART goals. SMART is the word SMART. The S stands for specifics, measurable, achievable, relevant, and a time-bound goal. So that means your goal will be specific. I want to become, for example, In my area, in my profession, I want to become chartered at this. That's my whole. That's my game plan. When you tell me you want to become chartered, for example, in your area of calling, it means that you have set a specific goals. It is measurable because when you achieve it, you will know it is achievable within a time frame. It is relevant to your career and your life, and it is time bound. It has a time to hit because a goal you have not set is a goal you can't achieve. So what goals does is to make you focus in life, and then that you can make what I call satisfactory progress towards that goal. So you must, number one, identify your strengths and weaknesses. Number two, you must set goals. Number three, you must have what I call a growth mindset, recognizing that where you are is not your end. The Bible says it is not your end. You must recognize that where you are is a stepping stone to where you're going tomorrow. So you must develop a growth mindset. A growth mindset. That means you have to believe that you have potential that need to be developed, capacity to develop, and that is where hard work comes in, dedication, discipline comes in. You must embrace challenges. Don't see failure as an end. Failure is not an end until you stop. Learn to recognize opportunities, learn to grow, and begin to stretch yourself. A mindset, because everything you want to achieve begins in your mind. If you say you will succeed, you will succeed. If you say you will fail, you will fail. So you must develop a growth mindset. Number four, you must learn continuously. That means recognize that learning is living. Learning is living. Lifelong learning is something say is a way to maximize your potential. There's what you don't know, and there's what you must know. And the only way that bridge that gap between what you don't know and what you must know is learning, having a growth mindset. That you're a graduate today doesn't mean you have ended learning. No, it's just the beginning. Life is about learning. Continuously learning is what delivers, enables man to be able to maximize capacity or his potential, as it were, in life. So that means you must be ready to read books, for example, relevant books that are relevant to your life, take courses, attend workshops, for example. You must begin to you must learn at the feet of mentors, because one of the things secret about life, I tell you, all that should listen to me, is the place of mentorship. Many of us are losing out, are struggling because we have no specific mentor helping us to shape our life, even guide on how to help us to learn new skills and acquire knowledge relevant to where we are going in life. Mentors. That is where you recognize the place of learning as a lifestyle. You must be meek enough. Like I said earlier in one of our teachings, mentorship provides a basis for you to ride on the shoulders of those who have gone ahead of you. Number five, you must practice what I call self-care. Self-care here talked about recognizing that man is a spirit, yes, but he has a body. Until when you are healthy, you can't maximize potential. That's why you must take personal hygiene very serious. Take care of your personal, emotional, your mental health, your mental well-being, as you call it. Very critical, because you have to have a sound mind, a sound body, to be able to maximize potential, because you need strength in life to be able to push and want to press towards the mark of high calling for your life. And one of the things that you need to do, but talking about self-care, exercise regularly, talk about, having the, right amount of sleep, for example, for healthy living, eating the right kind of diet, for example, and taking time for activities that will allow you to relax, and enjoy life at its fullest. Don't be stressed out. Practice emotional intelligence, where you're able to know when to press and when to relax. You must be able to have that balance in life that keep your body, mind, and soul rested. That's very critical. In fact, that's one of the areas that people, a lot of people do a lot of it at the expense of their health. You must take your health serious, and that's one of the ways you can maximize potential, because you need strength to command the exploit. Number 16, you must surround yourself with people that have positive influences around your life. So to be careful the kind of people that come around your life. They can become the kind of people that, your friends. Friends are choices. It's not something. It's not a must. You don't have to have a friend. You have a right to pick who you want to see around you. Surround yourself with people I will call have positive influences, who can support you, who can encourage you, who can push you to continue to become the better version of yourself. Men and women that you will come around your life, and your life will have meaning. Like what we do here at AMP. When you come around here, you are reminded that there's something great about you that you need to go out and and unleash to the world. And finally, here, number two, as I wrap up, is you must grow spiritually. I've often said over and over again that if it's well with you spiritually, it will be well with you all roundly. Man is essentially a spirit, so you must build that capacity, that spiritual side of you. Very critical because that is the foundation. And Bible says when the foundation is destroyed, what can the righteous do? So spiritual growth, which is about, Psalm 1 verse 1, it says, be careful the company you keep. Checking the word day and night. It said in verse 2, saying whatever you do. I mean, it said, when you meditate upon the word day and night, in verse 3, it said, whatever you do shall prosper. That means you can't achieve your full potential until you build your spiritual self, your capacity for your spiritual growth, spiritual robustness, which is about searching the word day and night and be committed to covenant practice, for example. These are ways to grow spiritually. And you read books, anointed books that will help you build your capacity, your health, spiritual health, and all round experience in the spiritual sense of because that's the foundation on which everything else is built. A wise man said something very profound. He said, there are no limits to what you and I can achieve in the journey of life except through your mind. And that's why it's something that's very, very important that your mind has a critical role to play, in achieving that infinite potential God has placed inside of you. You're only limited until only in your mind. When your mind believes a thing is possible, then it's possible. And that's why this subject of maximizing potential is very critical. And my prayer today is that as you identify your strengths and your weaknesses, as you set goals, as you develop a growth mindset, as you learn continuously as a lifestyle, as you practice self-care, and take your health very serious and surround yourself, more importantly, with people of influence, I have no doubt. And more importantly, as you grow spiritually, Bible says, if you, if this word of this book of the Lord shall not depart from your mouth, you will meditate upon it day and night, and then you shall make your way prosperous. And you have good success. So you want to achieve life at its fullest. I beg of you, these fundamental 7 steps are things you must mind. And my prayer is that for every one of you listening to me today, as you take heed to this word you've heard, you will succeed. You will make it. And God's name shall be glorified.